Drink it in, man.
Deep left side carry on. Picks on the block. At the 5. At the 2. At the 1 to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions.
Drink it in, man.
Get up, Stafford throws. It is end zone. Caught! Oh, baby, what a catch! Kenny Galladay, you're a freak! What a catch! Touchdown, Detroit Lions! Cornbread!
I love the Lions! Say it with me! I love the Lions!
Drink it in, man.
Detroit Koolaid, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Oakrey. I'm coming here solo once again. Just had a feeling, just wanted to do a little Lions talk, a little Lions podcast here on a Sunday early afternoon and talk about a few things. So, last week, was traveling all over this country on airplanes and was able to do a solo show, a listener line show, which I thought was fun and different. I got to get some of you guys on the air. I got to talk about what we're looking for on that type of show, and I'm going to follow up on that with a call that came in after that show that I think is a home run, a call that I think just displays everything we're looking for in the DKC listener line. And I also got a cool something to tell you guys about that Anchor, the platform we use to record the podcast, has just added. They've also added voice messages, which is an easy way for you guys to click some info here in our show notes, which are I'll tell you where those are here later in the show, and it lets you just quickly leave a voicemail that way as well. So we got the phone number line, and we've got this new avenue. We'd love you guys to try that out and see if that's easier for us to add to the show, and maybe it lets you talk longer than the 3 minutes like the other call does, all that type of stuff. So we'll get into all the details of that here in a minute. But like I said, I did a solo show, did the listener line. Grifka came in with a classic Grifka episode. Oh my gosh, I laughed so hard when I heard his delivery and I heard him going into his soapbox rants and heard him bringing up articles like he always does. But I know I saw some things out on Twitter. You guys had some reactions to that and seemed to enjoy that episode as well. So fun to get 2 shows done while we're both on the go all over the place last week with our schedules. Now, with our Detroit Lions, we've got I think here on Monday morning we're going to have the vets and the rookies together, which would be awesome. I think that we didn't get much detail when the rookies were in. We saw some few clips of Hockenson knocking over the sled, which I heard a few people go like, come on, that was a plant. They just told him to dump the sled so everybody be impressed. But hey man, you see that highlight where he just drives his feet, his legs, his arms, and throws that blocking sled right to the ground. That was pretty sweet. I liked it. And then I had some clips of him catching the football really nice with his hands, high, low. Really looked fluid, looked smooth, and like seeing that. It's hard to kind of see everybody else, but, you get these highlights of them lifting weights and everybody in there kind of tearing up the weight room, looking like a team. You got to like that. I sent something out on Twitter about Matt Pat. I got to watch the Good Morning Football clip where he was on there. Classic Matt Pat, off-season, just talking it up, living it up, laughing it up, just the most personal guy ever. And then come the season, he'll have the long scraggly beard and won't want to deal with anybody, which I think is even more awesome. So that was cool to see. I don't know, we're about getting close to a month here past the draft, and it's time to really get these guys on the football field in phase 3, which everybody's always kind of excited about. It feels like that one step closer to training camp, one step closer to preseason, and then that ultimate step closer to the season being back, which we're about, what are we here, end of May, so June, July, August, about 3 months away from where we'll be seeing the heat of preseason training camp, and then beginning of September there right into the season. So I'm really excited to see what this football team has. I think there's a lot to look forward to. I also think there's a lot of question marks. We have a tough schedule, and we also have there's a lot of teams getting better out there in the NFL. A lot of top skill players and things that aren't on the Detroit Lions that we're going to have to deal with. So, I think like every NFL season, it's going to come down to injuries. It's going to come down to, who has the heart, who's playing their schemes, who's out-thinking the other guy when it comes to coaching. And I think there's going to be some really tight football games. So we've got some cool topics to bring up this week on our Koolaid Cast, and we'll get into that at that point. So let me take a quick pause. I believe this first sponsor, if it's not this one, there'll be another sponsor in this show that's going to tell you about the voice messages. But I want everybody to really, like, if you're on iTunes or you're on Spotify, there should be an area when you click on the podcast where it kind of shows the show notes, which is usually kind of a basic thing, we're talking all things Detroit Lions and drink it in. But at the very bottom, it should give you a link of a spot where you can click if you want to leave these new voice messages. I believe when you click it, it'll let you just leave that right away, and then it'll actually drop into where we kind of make the shows. So if the call makes the cut, we can quickly edit it, put it right in the show. Just saves us a few steps. And there's also a link, I believe, in the bottom of those show notes if you want to become one of the Detroit Koolaid Cast sponsors, donators of the show. Just a few bucks a month really helps us out with all the type of stuff we're doing. I know we have some great loyal listeners out there, and that would really help us if you could do that, or as we always say, leave us a review either on iTunes or whatever platform you have. They usually have a spot where you can review the show. 5 stars really helps us, along with a little note just saying what you like about the show and why you're a dedicated listener. So if you guys could do that, we'd really appreciate it. Let's take a quick pause for this sponsor, and we'll come right back. We'll talk more about it all in a moment. All right, everybody, we're back. So I want to drop this show just leading up to that rookie veteran mini camp. I thought I might as well bang on Grifka here for a moment. So Grifka went down his soapboxes talking about how the Lions don't get any respect. Everybody's predicting the Lions to be last in the division, 7-9. Like, what I thought really was funny about that is one, that he's getting all wrapped up in it again. Like, anything these reporters or people from Bleacher Report or whoever the heck he was referencing, Lions 24/7, I'm sure. None of that matters. You know what I mean? It all matters what happens in the game. As we can see in the draft, we think we know it all. We think we research all this stuff. When it really comes down to it, we don't know what these NFL teams are thinking. We really don't know what our football team's going to look like until we get through camp, into the real games, the real bullets are flying. And, who knows what could happen between now and then in regards to injuries, adding people. All types of things could change our roster as well. So Grifka in mid-May getting fired up about some random reporter saying that we're going to be 4th in the division. And what I think is funny is we're going to be last in the division. We're going to win 7 games, and the winning team's going to win 9 games. I mean, that just seemed odd to me. So, he gave his thoughts on that. I thought, doesn't matter. Everyone's projecting, 10, 11 wins for this team. I mean, we always seem to start at 10 and work our way up, but I don't know. I mean, I just want this team to get in the playoffs and win the division. I don't care if it takes 8 wins, 9 wins, 10 wins, 12 wins, whatever it takes. But I think that if you look at the schedule and think we're easily winning 11-some games, I mean, I think that's optimistic to say the least. I think that we're going to be in a lot of dogfights. There's going to be a lot of games where hopefully our defense is going to be able to shut down the other team's running game, going to be able to hopefully throw the football much better. I mean, I would love to see Amendola really be a force there in the slot, kind of a Golden Tate light, and he's really grimy, a lot more grimy than Tate was in regards to, his effort, his just his abilities. I think are a little different than Golden Tate, but I think, man, if he can make those catches underneath along with Hawkinson, that could make a big difference for this offense. And everybody, I know they're not forgetting about Carry-On, but go back and watch the tape of this guy. I mean, if we can get, everyone's always talking about his injuries. If we can get 12, 14, not 12, that's too little. I mean, if we can get 13 to 14 games plus out of this guy, if not more, I think he's going to be an absolute force in the run game, catch the football, he can pass protect, he's big, he's smart. I mean, I think he's going to be really the thing that makes this offense go, to be honest. I think if he gets it cooking, then Stafford's going to be able to spread the football, make the plays that he can make, but our run game, our run defense, I think is really going to carry the Lions, which is going to be a big change from what we're used to. So I'm looking forward to that. But like I say, it's not going to be an easy season by any means. I really think the Lions are due for a healthy season. We've been banged up for years and years and years with injuries. Yeah, the NFL is all about injuries. Everybody gets injuries. We know all that. But I really think it's time the Lions get a healthy season, their main players rolling and making an impact throughout the 2019 football season. So we'll see where they end up on the record. Now here's the real issue I got with Grifka. Grifka ran down the undrafted free agent grades. Why he picked out this article, why this has given him just a headache, I had no idea. But my funniest part about it was Grifka went on this big rant about how can anyone get an A for undrafted free agents. They're undrafted free agents. Hello, Grifka, are you there? Do you hear me knocking on that wooden dome of yours? Like, the reason some teams get an A and sometimes get a C is because they're grading what undrafted free agents they got on that team versus the other 32 teams. So you're going to get some teams that did better, meaning like got better graded, better quality, better pedigreed players. You'll have some in the middle, and you'll have some at the bottom that got undrafted free agents that weren't as good or don't have as big of upside. So you're going to get the teams that people thought draft experts, whoever, got really good guys that didn't get picked. Yeah, they're going to get A's, they're going to get B's. The guys in the middle, they're going to get C's, C pluses, C minuses, whatever it may be. And the teams at the very bottom, you don't see many F's given out, but you're going to see the D's and things like that for teams that didn't snag up these top free agents. I mean, everybody that pays attention to the draft and doesn't go out and have picnics during the draft or ride bicycles or blow bubbles or, shoot dandelions into the air. I mean, whatever the heck you were doing during the draft, like, we know at the end of the draft, wow, I can't believe this guy didn't get picked. Wow, look at this guy. He's still on the board. I'd love to add him to the Lions. And the Detroit Lions, our Detroit Lions, did absolutely that. They went and added players at positions of need that we thought, man, I can't believe that guy didn't get picked. I mean, I know Ben Schwal was a guy that, I took in, I think it was my dynasty draft, kind of in that 6th round area, because I liked what he could bring to the table and thought he was a good fit and couldn't believe he was still on the board. So to get him after and, to get some of the other players they got, I think you said a C or something they got. I mean, again, that goes back to your Lions disrespect card or just, nobody thinks that we find any diamonds in the rough. I mean, we got Frank Ribble over here talking about this tight end we got being the next greatest thing since white bread, and he couldn't make it through rookie camp. The guy got let go. So you just never really know what's going on. Obviously, I'm kidding with you, Frank, but we don't know how these guys are going to pan out. We don't know who's going to make it, who's not, but you can definitely go off the grades, off what we see, what we think, and that's why they're getting A's, B's, C's, because it's relatable to the other teams. It's not like grading these players that these are A-plus players. They're grading the undrafted rookie classes team by team, and of course you're going to have guys at all areas of the spectrum because that's what a grading scale is. You're not going to give everybody C's just because these guys aren't top-end, first-round, third-round football players. I mean, that's just common sense, Grifka. How you missed that or how you went on some rant about how nobody should get more than a C because these aren't top-shelf players, just, I don't know, makes me just shake my head, no doubt about it. But like I say, funny podcast, no doubt. I love that Grifka went to a couple of his catchphrases. That's just classic stuff. Sometimes I think he knows it, sometimes I think he doesn't. He just says this stuff that I find super hilarious, and I know you guys out there listening think is super fun too. So that was good. Like I say, my show, I tried to just highlight a few of you guys. I really loved it on Twitter where Frank and Paul and all these people were commenting, saying, hey, thanks for putting me on the show. Jimmy, I knew the guy, the final guy that got cut off. He got the hammer dropped on him because he talked for about 4 or 5 minutes. I thought he said Jimmy Twitter in the beginning. Little do I know, he hits me up, and he's literally Jimmy on Twitter, which I thought was hilarious. So, Jimmy, keep sending those calls in, man. Appreciate it. 3 minutes or less, man, or else, you're going to be cut off again, but really liked your takes. Frank, obviously, was fun to hear on the show. Paul, let me get to Paul. The other guy I love didn't leave his name, and I haven't really heard directly back from him, but I hope he calls back. The guy that talked about we don't need a tight end, we need defense. And he got after Bob Quinn, saying, what was he doing? Just gonna sit on his thumb or what? And then he just hung up on me that on the Koolaid Cast line. I thought that was tremendous, but. Let me get to Paul real quick. So Paul, again, right from the get-go, I mean, he tracked us down one of our first episodes. He's been following along, listening to every show. Really a great listener. Been able to connect with him on Twitter, and really fun to talk football with him, and kind of like his takes and the things he's bringing to the table, help supporting us, all types of things like that. So Paul heard the Koolaid Cast listener line show. He appreciated being on. But he thought he'd bring a little more heat. He'd bring a little more something. Once he knew what I was looking for, once he knew that I was looking for entertainment value, I was looking for jokes, I was looking for inside references, and first and foremost, I was looking for people that would leave calls banging on Grifka, getting after Grifka, putting Grifka in his place, so that I'm not the only one that has to do it all day, every day. So right now, I'm going to play this call from Paul for you, where I thought he just hit all types of elements that we're looking for. He got in, he got out. Hold on, I better redo that again for Grifka. He got in and got out. Lil Tim, what up, man? But he got in, got out, brought the lumber, was funny, had some inside takes that maybe only some of you will get, and reference past shows, hit a few taglines. One classic line, if you get it, is the one that we usually end most shows with from Grifka, which I thought was tremendous. This was just a great call. I couldn't help but rush it on the show so that you guys can hear it and say, man, that's what I'm going to bring next time when I call up the Detroit Koolaid Cast listener line. I'm a huge fan of Jim Rome. I've always loved how he does his show, where it's mostly him, but he's been able over the years to bring in these callers, kind of have fun with the callers, make characters, but also, like, if you can bring a take that doesn't suck and bring the lumber for, minute and a half, 2 minutes, whatever it is, he's going to feature you on the show, and we want to do the same thing. So Grifka did shoot me a text, I think, that said no self-gloss, which normally, I like to go with that on Jim Rome, but because I like to contradict everything Grifka says on this show, we're at 50-50 right now, because I think I want to hear some self-gloss. I want to hear people come in, give themselves some crazy nicknames, maybe even make up the city where you're from, so it's not always the same old, and bring a character, bring some laughs, bring all that. So, we'll see where we go, but I'm telling you right now from Oakrey, bring that self-gloss, have a funny nickname, make me laugh, and that's going to get you on the show, as well as bring Lions knowledge. We want to hear your takes, we want to know what you're thinking about the team, and all that type of good stuff. So, with all that being said, let me get to Paul's call right here. You're going to hear it all. This is what we want. Paul, thank you so much for sending it. Everybody, take a listen.
Detroit Koolaid Cast. Hey, this is Paul from Tampa, one of the people. Hey, I got two quick things. First, the people need to know the truth behind Grifka's Friday and Saturday draft absence. The rumors are swirling about what happened. First, I heard he was out shopping with Martha Ford over at the Sunglass Hut. Then I heard he was out at Golden Corral pounding down prime rib with Scott Mitchell. But the craziest thing I heard was he was taking a joyride out with Brock Marion's stolen conversion van. However, I go on Twitter and I'm reading that he was actually at home taking care of his kids for the weekend. If that's the case, man, Oakrey, you need to quit busting his balls. Is there anything wrong with spending time with your kids? Nope. Last thing, I love the AO pick. I'm thinking he can contribute day one. Even if he's a backup to start the season, DBs tend to get banged up a lot anyway, so he's going to see the field. I'm looking forward to waking the neighbors when he makes a play. Hey, yo! Oh, baby! Oh, hey, I got to switch to another call. Titus Young is calling me collect. Drink it in, man!
Oh my goodness, so right there, you heard Paul bring it. Right off the get-go, he's getting after Grifka, he's bringing Grifka up, he's calling him out for the draft, he's pulling out old references of why Grifka wasn't there, which is tailored either to Grifka, the old school Lions fan, and also some new references. the shot on Martha Ford being at the Sunglasses Hut, I thought was tremendous. I know Jimmy, I think, had a problem with me on Twitter calling her out about, I made fun of her about wearing the sunglasses 24/7, indoors, outdoors, night, day, everything. And then sure enough, she shows up at Taste of the Lions with no sunglasses on. You think that's a coincidence? Yeah, I don't think so. So he banged on me saying that was mean. And I was like, Marth Vader can do whatever she wants. And then I hit it. It's not the same quality on Twitter because it's written. But everybody knows the Martha Ford sound clip, which is, I love Jim Caldwell. So I had to end that tweet, of course, with, I love Martha Ford, with her 80, 90-year-old voice, just a tremendous type of stuff. So he banged on that. That was great. He did the gimmick where he sold all the reasons why Grifka missed the draft, then gave him credit for being with his kids, which I guess is okay, but like I said, for 2 days out of the year you couldn't tell the kids to hold on while you enjoyed the draft and then go blow bubbles and ride bicycles. So he gave him credit for hanging with the kids, and then he did the old Grifka nope line where he paused and did the Grifka nope, which I thought was awesome. That was great. So Paul, man, thank you so much. Everybody, use this as your template. This is Call of the Year right now, no question. If we do an end-of-year show where we're talking about best calls, best takes, best Grifka taglines, best arguments, this has got best call so far written all over it. If you think you can beat it, dial up that Detroit Koolaid Cast listener line, 989-272-3484, or go in your show notes, find it in your podcast app, and hit that voice messages, take you to Anchor, and let you drop a message that way. Not sure if you have to make a quick profile, or if they just let you do it straight from there. I'm not exactly sure, but like I say, this is a challenge. Everybody thinks you can beat Paul, thinks you can make us laugh, thinks you can bring this type of heat, energy, and a take. Let's do it. Let's not waste time. Let's get on there and do that right now. So, everybody, I want to do a short show. Get a few of our sponsors in there, have some fun, and also look forward to, hey, we got on-field type drills coming up. We've got rookies, we've got veterans, we've got this football team kind of coming together. I know most of you out there probably got your season tickets basically covered. You just can't wait to be at training camp. And we're going to have to figure out something on Twitter where we get people together and figure out when everybody's going to training camp. Maybe we can meet down there. Me and Grifka have talked about maybe setting up a table and maybe doing a little podcast out there as the people walk by. Maybe trying to get some people on the show if they want to talk Lions. Who knows? Who knows what we'll do? But lots of fun stuff. Looking forward to our team. And just want to do this bonus show. Me and Grifka will be back we drop our show on Wednesday evenings. And you get that show on Friday mornings, drops as early as 3 a.m., so that's ready for your car drive in. It's ready for any time you want it. We would love it if you would listen, subscribe, share it with a friend, help us keep building our listener base, as well as keeping the show going, and all the other dreams and aspirations we have for this thing as it continues to grow and go forward and be absolutely a blast doing. So, everybody, thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Go Lions, drink it in, call it in, voicemail it in, all that type of stuff. Thank you so much for Oakrey. Not for Grifka, because he's probably sleeping. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Take care, everybody. I'm out.
Pack the bag, start the plane. This game is over. It is over. What a comeback by the Lions.
Drink it in, man.